Click subscribe to get latest news and don't forget to press the bell icon.
The tolerant left is at it again. This time attacking the president's daughter for stepping up her role at the G20 summit, temporarily taking a seat while her father, President Trump, stepped out for a bilateral meeting with Indonesian President Joko Widodo. The left, either in the media, music industry and in Hollywood, have been nothing but vile towards the first family since Donald Trump was elected into office. Sure, Ivanka Trump might be in the fashion business, but don't let that fool you with the level of skills she has acquired over the years. President Donald Trump is a very successful businessman prior to his presidency. He would not have picked Ivanka Trump to work by his side if she was incompetent. Besides, if you haven't noticed on what has been going on in Europe, it's not like their leaders are competition. I am willing to bet that she has more skills and qualifications than most of today's European leaders. It comes down to this: the Democrats and everyone who supports them have been unhinged. Their true colors are showing, and anything that President Trump does they act like they're experts and attack. You would think with the position Ivanka Trump has in the White House, the feminist or other liberal groups would be happy with women empowerment, but liberals are hypocrites. Their hatred for President Trump clouds their judgment and facts. Here are some of the examples of hatred on Twitter from the left. It is sickening. Ivanka Trump turned heads on Saturday at the G20 summit by temporarily taking a seat at the big kids table when her father, President Donald Trump, stepped out for a bilateral meeting with Indonesian President Joko Widodo. A White House official told DailyMail.com that the younger Trump's fill-in role was nothing out of the ordinary. UK Prime Minister Theresa May was seen leaving the G20 meeting room at one point, a source with knowledge of the summit's goings-on said, and her place was briefly taken by an aide. But when the 35-year-old former fashion executive sat at the table with Xi Jinping, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, Angela Merkel and Theresa May, Trump's enemies pounced. Historian Ann Applebaum tweeted a complaint, denouncing an unelected, unqualified, unprepared New York socialite being seen as the best person to represent American national interests. Brian Class, an Oxford scholar who once served as deputy campaign manager for a Democratic governor of Minnesota, tweeted that she was representing the U.S. as an unelected, unqualified daughter-in-chief. This kind of thing happens all the time. In dictatorships, added self-described women's rights activist Amy Siskind. And Charles Blow, the liberal New York Times columnist, wrote flatly, "Why the hell is Ivanka Trump sitting in for daddy at G20 meetings? What are her qualifications? Who voted for her?" It's not uncommon for leaders to send proxies to attend meetings in their steads, even at high-profile international summits. Hillary Clinton also famously stepped in during the 1990s to lead a government commission on redesigning the nation's healthcare system, standing in for her husband despite not having been elected to any official post. The Trump White House official said Saturday that Ms. Trump was sitting in the back and then briefly joined the main table when the president had to step out. The official said that when Ivanka stepped up, World Bank President Jim Yong Kim had begun to talk about areas such as African development, areas that will benefit from the facility just announced by the World Bank. That facility, a women's entrepreneurship empowerment fund, was spearheaded by Ivanka and has grown to $300 million with the help of a $50 million U.S. donation. Earlier in the day, Trump waxed lyrical about his daughter before a bevy of world leaders who had gathered to promote the fund and its goals. "I'm very proud of my daughter, Ivanka, always have been, from day one," the president said. "She's always been great. A champion. She's a champion." Trump then drew chuckles when he mused about whether he had made her life more difficult by attracting controversy as a famous rhetorical swashbuckler. "If she were my daughter, it would be so much easier for her," he said. "Might be the only bad thing she has going, if you want to know the truth." Saturday's photo of Ivanka briefly filling the president's seat was posted on Twitter by Svetlana Lukash, a Russian official attending the G20 summit. She later deleted it from her account. That, said a U.S. official, may have been because the working session was considered a private meeting, and publishing photos without press credentials is forbidden. Enough is enough, and this needs to stop. I call for the left to give President Trump a chance to make this country of ours great. Ivanka Trump is a successful businesswoman. Not only give our president a chance but give his administration a chance, and for the record, I stand with Ivanka Trump.